It's nice to see everybody here. I'm Reverend Toni Corrigan. My title is You Are God's Yes, but we're going to start with meditation. So I invite you to just close your eyes and be in this holy space, totally letting go of everything that is not of God right now. Into this holy space of oneness. Just take a deep breath.
Yes. Better.
Breathing in that source of life. And exhaling anything that might be sort of nibbling away at your mind today. Any doubts or fears or things that have come up even this morning. Just let them go, because we say to them, I am right here, right now, in the living, loving presence of God, and you don't need to be here right now. Just set you aside. And continue breathing in that holy presence, knowing that that life is expressing joyously through every part of your body. And as we focus on that life, we feel it through our hearts, through our lungs as we breathe in, the very life of God, knowing that there is one life, and that is God life moving in and through each one of us. And so we open ourselves up to that living, loving light that expresses through us, that wants to express and say, yes, you are my beloved. I want to express more through you. I want to give you divine ideas to move you higher to your highest Christ self. And we feel that answering smile within us, saying, oh, yes, I am open and receptive to that living, loving Spirit of God that wants to express through me. And so we breathe in right now into the silence, holding that open space for more love, more life, greater power and strength and wisdom and order. And with zeal and enthusiasm for this blessed moment in time. What a joy it is to feel and to know that we are God's holy creation, that we are magnificent beyond imagination, that there is no limit to the life and to the divine ideas that can flow through us. There is no limit on Unity of Payson as it serves this community in a living, loving, spiritual way, and invites people to come and learn and remember their divine origin. We envision this community as a magnet of light and love, attracting those living, loving beings that wish to learn more of their Christ self. So we look forward to this day, knowing that amazing blessings have already been prepared for each of us. And we say thank you. Thank you, living, loving Spirit. And so it is. Amen. So my title is You Are God's Yes. Do you love these unexpected, amazing surprises that God has for us? Cindy, here from the church, invites the speaker to give their title considerably ahead of time. And so I knew what I was going to be speaking on a couple months ago. But today I opened up a little devotional magazine for religious science called Creative Thought. Guess what it said?
Yes.
I am God's yes. I said to Donna, and she said, "Are you surprised?" No. So, I am God's yes. The philosopher Hafiz, the Persian philosopher and poet, wrote, "I rarely let the word no escape from my mouth, because it is so plain to my soul that God has shouted, yes, yes, yes. In all creation, to every luminous moment in existence, God has shouted, yes, yes, yes." So at the moment of creation, that divine energy that is the only energy desired to express more, to be more, and created all of this exquisite universe that we live in. God desired to express through every leaf, every tree, every plant, every flower, every living, crawling, swimming, flying, walking expression, including you and me. It's the desire of the divine to express all good through each one of us. And all year long, you've been talking about these various attributes that fill us. God wants to express all the life, all the love, all the joy. Joy's not one of the 12 powers, but it accompanies them. All of the wisdom, all of the faith, and all of the zeal. I love that song by Mark Welch. I had not heard it before. It's awesome. Yes, yes. And so God is always saying, yes, I want to express more through you. But there has to be a responding yes within us. I will receive, I'm anxious to receive those gifts. I'm anxious to let you express through me. Because if someone says to you, I want to give you a gift, and you say, oh no, I don't really need that. Don't know what I do with it. Don't have a place to put it. You just keep it. Well, the gift exchange just stops right there, doesn't it? But not because the giver changed his mind, because we didn't have the responding yes within us. Yes, I am willing to let that express through me, to be more. There has to be a response within us. Our spiritual gift of zeal or enthusiasm is our power to move forward. And it's interesting, I don't know if I've ever been the fourth speaker on a particular power. I thought, they've probably heard all this before. And that's okay, because if you're like me, I can hear it over and over again, and I need to incorporate it in my consciousness in my life. But we know that enthusiasm is that power to move forward, propel forward. And it comes from, as you may know, the Greek words en and theo. So it means to live, be living in God, to be filled with God, to be on fire with God. And God is infinite good. Enthusiasm fills us with energy, and that's why I love that song, because boy, by the time we sang that a few times, that energy level was really accelerated. It's our starting power and our staying power. It's the starter and the accelerator. And we have to have some enthusiasm to accomplish anything. Doesn't mean that we have to be out on the football field leading the cheers, although some people do express their enthusiasm like that. But it means we just have to say, yes, I'm ready to move. So anticipation gives rise to enthusiasm. It's the idea that you're going to have Halloween cookies today. Maybe gave you the moving power to get yourself to church this morning. What if I told you that just by walking through the door this morning, you were going to receive a tremendous gift? And you'd start looking, saying, where is it? I'm going to move in that direction. Am I hot? Am I cold? I'm getting closer. Because anticipation, and when we know that God has prepared for us unlimited good, we have that anticipation to be looking for it, to be seeing it, and to be letting it express through us. Charles Fillmore in The 12 Powers of Man said, Zeal is the impulse to move forward. And from our birth, we have that impulse. From the time a baby is born, it starts moving. It first starts looking for its milk, and then it starts exploring its little hands and feet, babbling, blowing bubbles. A baby is never static, it's just moving. And then one day, it rolls over. Yay, everybody's so excited. And then it crawls, and it walks, and it runs, and it talks. There is something within us at the moment of creation that says, yes, I want to move forward. And the baby says, even if I fall on my bottom, I can get up and do it again. And sometimes we have that enthusiasm. Even if this didn't work out the way I thought it was going to, I have the go power within me to move and try again, to listen for guidance and move forward. So when you're given a divine idea, do you welcome it and say yes? And then ask for guidance. How shall I bring this forth? How shall I let this express through me? Or do you say, no, that's never going to work. Can't do it. I'm too old, too tired, don't have the money, don't have the time. Half has said, I rarely let the word no pass through my lips. Just think for a moment about your natural reaction when someone makes a suggestion. Is it, yes, let's do this, let's put our heads together, work together, listen, and move forward? In the museum right near Dr. Martin Luther King's grave is a handwritten sermon of his next to a well-worn Bible. And the topic of that sermon was enthusiasm. The power of enthusiasm. This is the introduction. No greater tragedy can befall a people than to be circumscribed to the dark chambers of pessimism. Pessimism is a chronic disease that dries up the red corpuscles of hope and slams down the powerful heartbeat of action. And so he was a man who maintained his enthusiasm all his life for a dream, for an idea. In spite of insults, arrests, attacks, church bombings even, he refused to give in to any no. He never said it's too hard or I don't have the energy. That zeal that impels us to move forward in this life has to be an inside job. Have you ever gone to a motivational sales meeting. Now, I'm not going to say any companies' names, but you know, they get everybody together and there's posters and slogans and music and speeches by the top sales leaders and owners of the company, and everybody gets really excited until they go out and try to sell the product. And Charles Roth, in a 12-power meditation exercise, identifies this as, we know, outer motivated enthusiasm. Our spiritual power comes from within, from that nerve center at the back base of the skull that impels us forward. Another very enthusiastic, zealous, motivational speaker and writer, Wayne Dyer, tells of the time when he was 19 years old. He was on a ship in the Pacific, and he was reading the book, The Death of Ivan Ilyich by Leo Tolstoy. Well, Ivan Ilyich was a civil servant who went every day and did his job and came home, always doing what was expected of him. But he had something in him that telling him he had something more that he was to do, that he had some mission in life, but he didn't follow it. He just kept doing what he did. And so on his deathbed, he said to his wife, was it worth it? Did I live my life fully? You know, what was this all about? And Wayne says, then he dies. After he says that, then he dies. Wayne says, as soon as I finished the book, I wrote a note to myself. Now, he's 19 years old, which I think is pretty amazing. I wrote a note to myself. Dear Wayne, don't die with your music still in you. And he said, what I wrote that day at the age of 19 became one of my 10 secrets for success and inner peace that I now share with millions of people as a writer and lecturer. It's this inner motivated zeal that Wayne shares that's been responsible for millions of dollars for public television, for lives of hundreds of thousands of people being changed by his writings. Don't die with my music still in me. So when we have that divine idea, know that we have the moving power within us to step forward and say yes. Alan Cohen writes a metaphor based on Superman. You may know the story of Superman when he was a baby, and his parents put him in a space capsule to escape the destruction of their planet. And so as he hurled past all the stars, he was listening to an audio tape that they had prepared for him. By the time he arrived on Earth, he knew who he was and what his purpose was. He was ready to be Superman. And Alan says, now our story is pretty much similar to Superman. We arrive on Earth with great internal wisdom and seated with an idea of how we might express that life, that love that is our core nature. Before we were born, we made an agreement. We co-created with God what it is I'm going to do in this life. However, the only difference between us and Superman is we forgot. We forgot that message, that mission that was given to us. And he said we get distracted by the limits in our bodies, by the messages that we've been given growing up, by the things that the negative things that people have told us or that we have created ourselves, that we can't do this. And so before long, he says, we're wandering with the masses saying, how did I get here? What am I supposed to be doing? He said, the moment we ask these questions, we begin our spiritual adventure of returning to the wisdom we forgot. And that's why people come together in the spiritual community, is to remember, who am I? Why am I here? As soon as we begin to ask those questions, we begin to step foot on that path of remembering. So our spiritual gifts do not operate in isolation. They all work together, just as the disciples worked together in spreading and supporting Jesus' message. The famous affirmation that Charles Fillmore created for himself in his 94th year. Is there anyone here that hasn't heard it? Probably not. Okay. However, it's not just about zeal and enthusiasm. Remember that? He said, I fairly sizzle with zeal and enthusiasm as I spring forth with a mighty
Zeal.
faith. With a mighty faith to do the things that ought to be done by me. And you know, I hadn't really focused on that and thought about it that much until I was looking and repeating that affirmation. I thought, he's not just talking about one power operating by itself. We have to have the faith that we were created in the image and likeness of the infinite. We have to have the faith that we have within us what we need to move forward in zeal and enthusiasm to do the things that ought to be done by us. We're energy beings, and every cell is vibrating, either at a low frequency or a higher frequency. And energy and enthusiasm and zeal are high frequency vibrations. Charles also said, when we carry the zeal current from its medulla center down to the throne of Philip, and remember Philip is the power center at the base of the tongue, a mighty vibration is set up that affects the whole sympathetic nervous system. So you see how they work together through the enthusiasm infusing the spoken word, the affirmation. We are moving forward, having the faith, the wisdom, the understanding. We're not just isolated little centers of powers, but we are a being of organized, amazing spirit. Working with these powers, zeal and power, we can create powerful affirmations. So we generate that go power through knowing God. And when we know there's no limit to our potential, we become genuinely enthusiastic, inner motivated zeal is constant and durable and persistent because it flows from within. Enthusiasm is a celebration. I would have loved to have been at your Halloween party last night. I mean, it was a celebration of spirit and flexible young spirit too. Enthusiasm is a celebration of spirit because God is. God is love. God is life. God is power. God is zeal expressing through us, and we say yes. There's a unity affirmation that I have used for many, many years to remind me of that divine flow that moves me forward. And I'm sure many of you know this affirmation. I am alive, awake, alert, joyous, and enthusiastic about life. How many of you know that one? Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so I've been meditating on that this past couple of weeks. And I thought it would be good for us to do a little meditation, a guided meditation on this, and internalize it. I'm alive, awake, alert, joyous, and enthusiastic about life. Now, many times in my life, I would put something different in that last word. Maybe it would be about this project, or about this day, or about this moment, about this lesson I'm preparing, about this church that I'm visiting. And so I invite you to internalize these ideas with me this morning, so that we can expand that divine yes within us. And so I just invite you to close your eyes if you want to. You don't have to. And take a deep breath. I am alive. Breathe that into your being, and let's say it together. I am alive. And as we speak those words through the power center with zeal, every cell in our body begins to respond. There is an intelligent life in every cell that knows exactly how to cooperate with other cells. Every tissue, every muscle, every bone, every nerve, I am alive. As I breathe in, I am alive. Wow. What a blessing it is to be alive in this beautiful universe. And if there is a part of your body right now that's experiencing some discomfort, bring your attention, your love and your light to that part, and say to yourself, I am alive. And just through those words and filling our mind with that idea of life, we raise the vibration within us to a higher expression of that perfect life. I am awake. Sometimes we're kind of sleepwalking through life, like Ivan Ilyich was. But I am awake. I am awake to the amazing expression of love and life and beauty in this world. I am awake to the blessings and the miracles that are happening in my life. I am awake to the light shining in other light beings in my life. Peter McKenna has a song that says, don't go back to sleep. I am awake. Awake to the glory of God's expression through me. I am alert. We might drive down the same highway every day and see the same things and not be alert to the messages that we might be seeing. I am alert to God's expression through me. I'm alert to those divine ideas that come at unexpected moments. I am alert to the answers to prayers that maybe show up in unexpected ways. I am alert to the subtle reminders that God is always expressing through me. I am alert. Let's say that together.
I am alert.
I'm joyous. I can't help but feel joy when I think about those blessings, those miracles that are happening all the time in my life. And that isn't just a happiness. It's a deep inner joy that comes from the very core of my being. I am joyous. Let's affirm that. I
am joyous.
I am joyous. That joy just bubbles up when I realize what an amazing creation I am. What a beautiful, exquisite world I live in. I'm joyous. And I am enthusiastic, living in God, filled with God, on fire with God. I'm enthusiastic about what is mine to do. I have faith that it is being revealed to me. I am enthusiastic. Let's affirm that together.
I am enthusiastic.
And now, in the silence of your mind and heart, think of what you are enthusiastic about, or what you want to be enthusiastic about. I am alive, awake, alert, joyous, and enthusiastic about. And so I invite you to affirm that with me together, and then in the silence say to yourself what it is that you are enthusiastic about bringing forth in your life. Together. I am alive, awake, alert, joyous, and enthusiastic about. Breathe it in. And God says yes. God says yes to your enthusiasm, to your being awake and alert and alive, joyous and enthusiastic. God says yes to me, and I say yes to God. Let's affirm that together.
God says yes to me, and I say yes to God.
And so it is. God bless you.